deux, trois, let's do it!
Took a dive.
Yeah, he did.
What kind of a splash would that get in the pool?
Hello and welcome to Scott Center. I'm Scott, because that's all you get today. As you've probably noticed, I'm flying solo tonight, as my usual deep bench of co-hosts has been depleted. Okay, Mad's just super busy and is being a rock star in her career. So, what that means is you get 3 minutes of unadulterated Scott pleasure, which is about the same amount of time my wife gets. Also, if I sound like I have a mouthful of peanut butter, it's because this weekend I became a little less wise and had my wisdom teeth forcefully extracted, much like Robert Saleh. So strap in or on, and let's run down the biggest storylines of the NFL week. First off, we had quite the exhilarating Thursday night game as the Falcons once again had a dramatic end-of-game scoring drive.
You like that?
And no, this time it wasn't Ian's future mail-order husband, Younghoe Koo. The star of the show was Kadarrell Hodge, catching what felt like Kirk Cousins' 500th pass of the night to give Baker Mayfield a defeat he will never forget.
You like that?
Sorry, Baker. Maybe next time stick to muffins. Other notable games include the now 5-0 Vikings taking down Aaron Not-So-Jolly Rodgers in Mariota, London. Not only did the Jets lose this game, but Don Rodgers successfully coerced ownership into firing head coach Robert Saleh. At this point, I'd rather be on a Pearl Harbor kamikaze than this Jets team. Talk about crashing and burning. Next up, our beloved Bears got a huge win over the struggling Bryce Youngless Panthers. Even the seasoned Red Rocket couldn't pull this one out. They might have to take a page out of Hannah's book next week and just not play a quarterback. It really seemed to work out well. For Rory. And to no one's surprise, the other 5-0 team is the Kansas City Referees. I mean Chiefs. Yes, once again, the men in the white hats gave Mahomes and Mr. Taylor Swift all of the support they needed to stomp over a banged-up Derek Carr and the Saints. The last time the Saints had to deal with incompetence and collusion from a position of power this bad was the Bush administration. And as Kanye reminds us,
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Alright, for our lightning round recap, the last notable game included Joe Burrow having a career night, only to once again lose, taking the Bengals to 1-4. And in a surprise rash of upsets, and teams that really needed a win, the Jags beat the Colts, the Dolphins beat the Pats, Cardinals beat the Niners, dem boys beat the Steelers, and somehow the Giants beat Geno and the Seahawks. Oh, and to everyone's pleasure, Jaden Daniels and the Commanders absolutely stomped the Cleveland tickler Deshaun Watson, as his career may actually be coming to an ending. And no, not a happy one. And with that, let's go over this week's matchups. Sexual Tyrannosaurus showed us that he is playing the ultimate game of 3D chess in his cunningly crafted defeat of the Brady Cardias. Our reigning champion was able to squeak out a much-needed W over the now struggling yet still delicious All These Nuts in Your Mouth. Coach O'Shea was able to take some time off helping the Little Giants and defeated a real giant of a man in Pipe Daddy this week. The Little Sluts proved that her Kentucky origins were once again too powerful for all the Jardinera this side of Clark Street in her defeat over Mr. Chicago. R.I.P. Steve McNair remains on a heater, as him and Jake Gyllenhaal's emo hair take down the commish, Bushwood Country Club. The Big Dirty continues to dig himself out of his early season hole and totally redeems himself with a solid thrashing of heavyweights Brody McBoogerballs. Well, that's all for this week.
Wait, I can do it.
I don't think you're in any shape to do this.
I can do it.
Week 5 has proved to be another equalizer, as no one is either pulling away from the pack or being left behind. So anyone still has a chance. Even me! Also, with injuries piling up, make sure you do your due diligence and shore up your team in advance of the start of the games. As we all know, in order to place a player on IR, you must have them on your active roster first, before you can move them to the injured list. Isn't that right, Nate? Alright, that'll take us to the end of this special All-Scott episode this week. And remember, Hurricane Milton could have been avoided if we just gave him his stapler back. Good night, America.